Hey everyone, welcome back to the BVTV Gaming channel. You are here, of course, with your host, BVTV Gaming, as we are going to be doing the Semifinals and Finals, Episode 3, the final episode of the UEFA Nations Tournament. We'll be crowning a champion of Europe in this episode, so let's get it started, folks. We kick it off with Denmark and the 2026 defending World Cup champions, Turkey, here in the semifinals of the UEFA Nations Cup. Really excited for this one. And as it stands, folks, Turkey in the white. Denmark, they're in the red. Here we go. And what a run it's been for both of these teams on the road to England to get here. They actually had the bye in the preliminary round, and they beat Sweden 5-0 in the round of 16. And then they beat Ukraine in penalties 4-2. That's how they got here. Not England. Sorry. Talking about England. This is Denmark. My apologies. Denmark got here by destroying Bosnia-Herzegovina 4-0, and then beating Poland 2-1 in a shocker, and then somehow surviving Germany in the quarterfinals 2-1 to get here to the semis. As for Turkey, they had the bye in the preliminary round and the round of 16. They only had to beat Spain. They did so in penalties 3-2. That's how they got here. Speaking about the other game, Austria and England. England, as you know, had the bye in the preliminary round. They beat Sweden 5-1 in the round 16, and then, of course, beat Ukraine in penalties 4-2. Meanwhile, Austria had I'd not say a shocking run, but they did beat Finland 3-0 in the preliminary round, and then, of course, beat Italy 3-0 in the round of 16, surviving the Czech Republic 2-1 in the quarterfinals, now making it here to the semis. I'm being sick right now. My belly's hurting me. I feel like I've been punched 100,000 times. That's rough. Well, I do hope you feel better there, Liam. That does not sound fun at all. But I am definitely looking forward. 3 games in this episode. By the way, folks, Yilmaz now pushing up for... actually, now it's Kaku, Turkey, trying to mount some offensive attack. However, not going to happen. Now it's for Holt to get to Damsgaard. Great interception there from the Turkish defensive team. Now it's Kabak. Oh, I think it was actually a handball. Should be a free kick being awarded to Denmark. I'm okay now. It was a horrible experience. Well, hey, at least you're doing better now, man. That's always a good thing. The cross coming, Haaland, the dive, wait, no, it's not get there, Damsgaard, couldn't get it either, as he gets kicked out. And now it's Turkey trying to recover possession. Can they do so? It looks like they can. Here goes Bob out in Iskin. To Højbjerg. Højbjerg's got to be careful now. It's Damsgaard trying to get past his defender, Selic. Can't do so, he gets it to Mael. Now to Haaland. Haaland maybe thinking the shot gets sideswiped. Now it's Turkey on the offensive front. Here's Yilmaz now to Güler. Güler trying to push it up for Turkey. Can they make something happen? Güler takes the shot. It bounces off the sidebar. And it's actually no goal so far. We're still tied. You know now. Here goes Haaland. It's him versus the goalkeeper. Can he do something with it? The shot. Oh, that was terrible. Goal kick for Turkey. Now, Turkey's got to be very careful playing in their own defensive third. We've seen that backfire countless of times. Again, it's so wild to say that Turkey, our 2026 World Cup champions, could also be walking out with a new title. Not only champions of the world, but also champions of Europe. So Aiden takes the shot. Great save by Christensen. It's Turkey pushing it away. Güler now to Ozkin. Ozkin to Kaku. Kaku's got to be careful. Sorry, I'm also having to... I was trying to answer that text for the longest. This cross coming in, header now, and nowhere to be found. By the way, folks, the next tournament that we're going to do is actually going to be the Three Kingdoms Cup. just because that's kind of that was the only kind of cluster I had, which was Asia, Oceania, and the Middle East. Yeah. They've got to be careful doing that defensively. Oh, this is Turkey trying to push up Ozkan, now getting to Yilmaz. Yilmaz got to be careful, get stopped defensively. Back and forth game to this point between both sides. And I will say Turkey has actually had 2 chances to really put to net a goal, and they've just bounced off the sidebar. And I want to point out, too, that the offensive attacks for Denmark have not been the greatest, to say the least. The Denmark, so here goes Hujlemond. Now to Verholt. Verholt. So be careful. He's trying to get past his man. He does. Takes the shot. Good save. Corner for Denmark. Cross comes in. The header, nowhere to be found. My goodness. Goal kick. Uh-oh. Here goes Isakin. Isakin push up. He's got nobody with him, though, and it's going to be a corner given to Denmark. The header, but an easy save there for Sakir. Again, as time is ticking on this first half, can Turkey try to mount some type of offensive prowess once again? And I've said this before, Turkey definitely put a target on their back, winning the 2026 World Cup. All these teams take them very seriously. Not so much. Turkey's the only team that had a 2-game bye. They had the preliminary round bye and the round of 16 bye. They only have to compete in the quarterfinals, semis, and finals. So, I mean, if they get to the finals. So, while teams like Denmark have already had to go through 3 games before this, Turkey's only have to go through 1. And that is the end of the first half, folks. We are still at a stalemate, 0-0 to this point. Oh, Hojlund takes the shot, goal! The stalemate has been broken in the 47th minute. Denmark coming out into the second half. Guns blazing, Hojlund takes the lead for Denmark 1-0. A massive goal over the defending World Cup champions. How will Turkey respond after giving up that goal in the early goings? I gotta think this would be a massive upset. The defending 2026 World Cup champions for us, Turkey, now on, really has to be on the offensive. I mean, they literally have to score, otherwise they're gone. They've got plenty of time to do so. I thought they were going to call a handball. That really did. Defensive breakdowns are happening. Here goes Kaku. Corner for Turkey. Shilonglu getting subbed in for Ozkan. That's what was made by Turkey. That bounce off his face? Is his face okay? Like, or we just... Jeez. Wait a minute, here goes Denmark's going to be very careful getting over to Damsgaard. Damsgaard needs to be... Oh, he got sideswiped. Should be a handball violation, free kick awarded to Turkey. Yep. And Hojlund is injured. That's really not good for Denmark. That's a key focal point for them if he's hurt. And he's out. He's still playing. He's playing injured. That is how much it means to be called the champions of Europe, de Haasland. By the way, Ep3 coming in for Elmani. I think Turkey made another substitution. Akgun coming in for Aiden. Volley coming into Damsgaard, but no. Goal kick for Turkey. Yeah, ref, there better be a yellow card at the end of this possession. It's Denmark now requesting substitutions. After trying to cross it, can't do it, it gets blocked. And that is going to be a yellow card for Bardaki. Free kick and a good cornering position here for Turkey. Not going to amount to much. They still recover possession, at least for the moment. And Christensen coming in for Bah. That's substitution by Denmark. Is Turkey trying to mount some type of offensive? That stayed in play. Unbelievable. I give credit where credit's due. That was unbelievable. My thing is, with 20 minutes plus added time remaining, can Denmark punch their ticket into the finals of the UEFA Nations Cup? And what a win this would be, knocking off the literal recently won 2026 champions of the world, Turkey. And honestly, for me, what an unforgettable tournament that was, especially the road to the finals when we had Senegal and Turkey in the finals. I mean, that was such what a road both of those teams were on, and just what a game. Denmark's got another guy injured in Maeo. They have two guys who are playing hurt right now. That's insane. That's what it's all about. Oh nope, they subbed out Maeo. Dorgu coming in for Maeo. Another corner here for Turkey as they mount even more pressure. However, goal kick for Denmark. Here's Hujleman now to Dorgu. Dorgu to Højbjerg. Højbjerg to Froholt. Froholt to Højlund. Højlund, it's going to be him and the goalkeeper. Him and the goalkeeper, Højlund. Goal number 2. Here in the 79th minute, a massive goal for Højlund. The man who is literally injured has scored a brace, giving Denmark a 2-0 lead over Turkey. How will Turkey respond as time is starting to tick away? Denmark determined to punch their ticket into the finals of the UEFA Nations Cup. Here's this guy. Look at this. Denmark once again on the offensive. Taking the shot. Great save by the goalkeeper. Corner here for Denmark. And as time ticks away, Turkey's got to score and score fast. Great side swipe there from Dorgu, who gets it to Damsgaard. Damsgaard now pushing it up for Denmark. Crossing it over to Iskin, who's wide open. Iskin takes a shot. Good save by the goalkeeper. And another yellow for Turkey. That time it was Selik. This corner for Denmark being taken. It's getting out of Anderson to Christensen. The stage coming in for Haaland, the man who was injured and yet still scored 2 goals. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait, handball? Wait a minute. Wow, this gives Turkey life. If Yildiz can hit and score this penalty, Yildiz takes the shot, but Hermanson with a phenomenal save. Corner here for Turkey. What a game to kick it off for us, folks, of the semifinals between Denmark and Turkey. It's getting out of if you're Denmark, just waste the clock. Or score a 3rd goal. That works too. Denmark 3-0 against Turkey as they send Turkey home. Denmark punches their ticket into the finals of the UEFA Nations Cup. The 2026 World Cup champions will not have the double title they were seeking. Denmark moves on to the finals. Which means, folks, Austria, England, it's up next. The winners will meet Denmark in that said final match. Who's it going to be? That is the $1 million question. So get this going. I'll be in every stream I can, Bill. You're always so nice to me and others. Please follow. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. That actually does. I do appreciate the support, honestly. Whoops! I went right past Austria. I went right past them. Yikes. Well, this will be interesting. Here we go, folks. It's Austria. It's England. Winners get Denmark in the finals. Who will it be? Will it be Austria, who's in the red? Or will it be England, who's in the white? Here we go. Oh, that one, actually make sure to do the numbers there. It's Yokozuna versus William Regal for the ECW champ from 2010. Regal is the champ. Well, William Regal will stay the champ. He's the real Extreme Gentleman, after all. Goodness. And I realized after like streaming and having 2 different types of like consistencies in stream, it's crazy. Because soccer, you do have to talk a little bit more, and then you do in UFC, because the action kind of speaks for itself. But yes, the 3 Kingdoms Cup will be the next tournament that we do with all the national teams. I will say I've had such a blast with all this, and the fact that like we may not have another like 60 teams and go back to like 24. Yeah, definitely trying to make the most of it. I did make Yokozuna a high flyer and a 100. Why is Yokozuna flying around? That man can't fly. It's falling with style. I'm truly trying to figure out what was the thought process on number 4? Oh, Gordon. Yep, that's not going to work for you, Gordon. What is England doing? You know, it's wild to think that England was so close to reaching the finals for the 2nd time in the 4 years that we've done the FIFA World Cup tournament. And Declan Rice takes the shot, gets saved by the goalkeeper, corner for England. But England, not only did they have a red card and they were down to 10 men, what made it even worse is that they also gave up a handball that Senegal also converted as well to knock them out in the semifinals. I thought this was going to be England's year to win it. and rewrite the wrong from 2018 against Spain, but that just did not happen. And what's crazy, if England were to lose here against Austria, and it was Austria and Denmark, that would mean every team that had a bye in the preliminary round did not make it, which is crazy, because they were the best performing teams in Europe for the World Cup. Just like nuts to think about. And once we get to the final match, which is going to be the winner of this one versus Denmark and crown the UEFA Nations Cup winner, which is going to be basically the champion of Europe, I'll kind of go over and kind of preview the Three Kingdoms Cup. This Jude Bellingham. Bellingham's got to be careful. Uh-oh. Wait, no, oh, no, never mind. And what a run Austria has been on. Like, they were not doing so hot in the World Cup, and they've really turned it around here. So, much respect to them. What a run they've been on in this tournament. Here goes Kane. Harry Kane now to Jude Bellingham. Bellingham now to Declan Rice. Back to Bellingham. Bellingham to Anderson. To Saka. Didn't amount to much. Listen, it's Marcel Sabitzer pushing it up for Austria. Let's say Reece James better walk that thing out of play completely. Here goes Pops to Slager. Slager to Sabitzer. Takes the shot. Nowhere on target. Goal kick for England. What I like is that Austria's playing up aggressively against England. Like they're like glued to England's hip right now. It's crazy. There he goes, Saka. Saka. It's going to be him, the goalkeeper. Saka! No. Good save by the goalkeeper. The fifth corner for England today. Header comes in. That one's nowhere to be found either. This goal kick for Austria. And England recovering possession, though. Now it's for Declan Rice pushing it forward for England. Guys, somebody's got to get it to him. No, it's going to be a corner. Corner here for England. The sixth one today. Gord, I'm not sure if that was intentional by design or what, but that's going to be the seventh corner for England. Volley comes in, but really not a great volley. Yeah, that was not good. Oh, wait, great block there. I believe that was from Reece James, giving it back to Jude Bellingham, who's going to get it to Harry Kane. Good save by the goalkeeper. Corner number 8 for England. That one was actually not the greatest. Here goes Guy. Guys, going to be very careful. Gets it back to Declan Rice. Rice now to Guy. Now to James. To Anderson. To Rice. Rice trying to find an opening. Trying to get to somebody, but he can't. A bit of miscommunication on England's part. Great defensive stop there by Anderson. That's great hustle. It's going to be a throw-in here for England. Kane to Bellingham, now to Saka, back to Bellingham. Bellingham's losing possession here. However, England does recover it. Here goes Jude. Jude now to Harry Kane. Kane. Wow. Kane's getting bullied out there. All right, I will say that they keep recovering possession. Like, they've done a great job that over now after that violation. Free kick to Austria. And now they only got 1 minute at a time. Austria could do some as they've recovered it. Throwing here for Austria. They've got to keep momentum forward. They did here. Warner while Warner gets stuffed. And that is going to be that for the first half, folks. Once again, we are tied in for the second time in our semifinals of a tie game going into the second half. Looking at the keys to victory for both sides, this isn't easy. For Austria, they're definitely having an uphill battle against a really great and young English team. However, for them to really do well, they've got to constantly defend counter-attacking play. But they also need more time with possession. They have really not done much with it. They haven't been able to have the ball for long. So for Austria, finding ways to try to create more space and defensively tightening up on certain things, try to force England to make mistakes to try to recover possession faster. That is the keys, I think, to victory for Austria. As for England, you keep pressuring them, but also at the same time, your attacks are very stalled when they're not in counter-attacking form. And when you guys get to the offensive third of the pitch, it oftentimes falls flat. You've had 8 corners to this point, and you've done nothing with them. We need to figure it out. Be maybe more aggressive. I'm joking, Yokozuna's just normal. That's fair. That would say, I was like, that's wild. Here goes Jude Bellingham now to Saka. Saka, that's a bit... I don't know with that one, a referee, to let that go. Getting thrown here for England. All the way to here again. Like, I seen the idea. I'm not sure if the execution was great. Again, folks, the winners get Denmark in the finals. Rice now to Anderson. Look at England trying to push it up in their neutral third, but now it gets stuffed. This is Austria's time, but forcing mistakes that they just did. Lemmer now to Sabitzer. I believe that was an offside infraction. Yes, it was. So England with possession, substitutions coming in. Wainer for Chukwuemeka. So Chukwuemeka's coming in for Wainer. And then Marcus Rashford seems to be coming in for England. And Marcus Rashford's coming in for Gordon. This James Sissako's, he's got Jude Bellingham with him, I believe. No, that's Marcus Rashford, actually. My apologies. Again, folks, as we are still testing the new rule set in this tournament, which is if there is a draw coming out of the 90 minutes plus added time, we go straight to penalties. We're not going into extra time. So I'm testing out that rule set to see kind of how I like it. I think it's left some very wild games. I mean, in the quarterfinals alone, we had Turkey survive Spain 3-2. I mean, there's so much to talk about there. So yeah, I mean, let's think about, England and Ukraine, the 4-2. Netherlands and Belgium, where Belgium knocked out the Netherlands. Iceland and Scotland, I still can't believe that one, the 6-5 one. Who's playing? Oh, I forgot to put the thing in the middle. There you go. Austria, England. I was wondering, what? Are they going backward? That's an offsides infraction. This game actually might go to a draw. Both of these sides, England with all the possession they've had, has done diddly, and Austria hasn't had enough possession to really do anything either. So like this epic predicament. There's Chukwuemeka. Arnautovic to Schläger. Wait a minute, Schläger's the counter-attack. It's him and the goalkeeper. Schläger and the goalkeeper. Good save. Corner here for Austria. What a wow! He threw that right to the Austria player. That's crazy. Like, I know who it was intended for, but talk about a massive misfire. And 10 minutes plus extra added time remain. If we do not have someone taking a lead, we go to penalties. I think Austria winning. You know, it's I don't know. That's a great. I don't know. This one's definitely going to come. I feel like it's going to come down to penalties because England has not done enough, and then Austria has done little. So it's tough to say. Both teams not playing their best. Is Gunther playing? No. Gunther is not playing. They subbed out Harry Kane for Watkins? Why would you sub out? Wow. That is a gutsy. I'm very shocked at that. I wouldn't have subbed out Harry Kane. Even though offensively he's been kind of low, but to not have him go up for penalties is absolutely insane. This Austria's got literally 1 minute of added time. Can they mount a shocking late ending goal to this one? We've seen it before. They've got to stay in the box. They're toying with that clock. If they keep going back, they're going to call it. Yep. Watkins for Kane, Kane's for Watkins. I wouldn't have. I mean, I wouldn't have done that. I would have kept Harry Kane in. There you go, Marcel Sabitzer, the man leading it off for Austrian penalties. The winner gets Denmark, and he goes right through the net. And it goes Saka. Saka leading it off for England. Saka takes the shot. It's good. 1-1. Denmark watching this one eagerly, see who they will be facing in the finals of the UEFA Nations Cup. Here goes David Alaba. Alaba takes the shot again right through the middle. Easy save. I think it was a boneheaded decision for England to take Harry Kane out. This is Marcus Rashford. Rashford taking the shot right through the net. 2-2. Here goes Arnautovic. Takes the shot. It's in. It looked like Pickford froze for a moment. And now it's Jude Bellingham. Jude Bellingham whiffs, and that may be the ender. Chukwuemeka now taking the shots, putting on a bad spot. 4-2. Wait a minute. If Watkins misses, mind you folks, Harry Kane is the guy they subbed out for Watkins. If Watkins misses, I bet Thomas Tuchel will be kicking himself. Watkins is not. It keeps England alive, but now it's up to Jordan Pickford. Jordan Pickford's got to stop this. If Lemur hits this, England is out. It's over. Austria defeats England in penalties 5-3 in an upset victory. We get Austria and Denmark out of all teams in the finals of the UEFA Nations Cup. It is official, like a referee with a whistle. Well, folks, there you have it. Austria, what is it with England in the semifinals? Like, why are they? That's twice that England has made it to a cup semifinals and been eliminated in the semifinals, which is wild to think that both teams, a World Cup semifinal team and a intuition and execution, I win a penalty shootout without missing. I did not even play, but thanks for the achievement, I guess. Oh, interesting. I just got a free achievement and I did nothing. I love that. They need to do that more often. And folks, again, in a shocking way, we are getting Austria, yeah, and Denmark in the finals of the UEFA Nations Cup. One of these two teams will be the champions of Europe. This is literally this was not the where I thought this was going, honestly, and yet here we are. Did nothing. Yeah, the greatest achievement I've ever had. I did nothing. The game was on. And folks, it's time for the finals. The finals of the UEFA Nations Cup. What a road it's been for both of these teams. Absolutely shocking. It's Austria. It is Denmark. Here we go. Austria, by the way, folks, will be in the red jerseys. Turkey will be in... Denmark will be in the white. Let's talk about the road for both of these teams, shall we? Denmark, in the preliminary round, went against Bosnia and Herzegovina, beat them 4-0. Denmark would then go on to the round of 16 and shockingly beat Poland 2-1 in the round of 16. In the quarterfinals, Denmark had to go toe-to-toe with Germany and beat them 2-1. And then, as we just seen, Denmark defeated the 2026 World Cup defending champions Turkey 3-0 to make it to the finals. However, the road for Austria, you've unlocked the easiest trophy ever. I have, yes. Yes, I have. However, Austria in the preliminary round defeated Finland 3-0, then went toe-to-toe with Italy in the round of 16 and defeated them 3-0 as well. In the quarterfinals, Austria would then defeat the Czech Republic 2-1, and then in the semifinals, Austria went toe-to-toe with England to a 0-0 draw and defeated England 5-3 in penalties. And Austria takes the lead in the first 11 minutes of this one, 1-0 for Austria, determined to be called the champions of Europe. Massive goal scored there. How will Denmark respond as Austria takes the 1-0 lead in the early goings of the UEFA Nations Cup finals? Only one can be called the champions of Europe. It's going to be handball. That is not what Bob wants to hear. So no, that's David. That's down. So, oh, wow. And talk about fine luck. Haaland, the man who could tie this thing up with a penalty if it's executed. It is. Converting the handball penalty. Haaland gets the goal. We're tied 1 apiece in the first 13 minutes of this one. The stalemate. It's back on. It's all about being called champions of Europe, and that's exactly what we're seeing both of these teams go all out here in this one. It's funny, too, because the UEFA Nations Cup was actually the literal longest tournament we were going to have. It had the most teams in it with 27. It's the only cup that actually had a bye. Yeah. What makes it like it's quite shocking to when you think about it. Harry Folks goal kick here for Austria. And ultimately, I feel like the tournament itself has been really, really fun in general. So I've had a genuine blast with this tournament. Because all the other tournaments that we're going to do will be just two episodes. So it'll be like the quarterfinals, and then we'll do like the semifinals and finals again. I think the next longest tournament in terms of like time will be probably the Copa America, because Copa America is going to have a quarterfinals and a bit of a longer semifinals with 12 teams. Well, folks, Haaland giving Denmark the lead. He's got a brace again today. This man is still injured, by the way. Haaland, 2 goals. It's 2-1. Denmark leads here in the 21st minute. How will Austria respond here in the finals of the Nations Cup? I got to feel that Denmark riding very high right now, scoring 2 goals, but also coming off the fact that they just beat the 2026 defending World Cup champions, Turkey. But in the same vein, Austria just came off of beating England in penalties to make it to the finals. I love the unpredictability of like the tournaments that we've had, because like there's never a, you know, I really would have thought Turkey would have had an easy run. You know, they only had to play 3 games to win the whole tournament, and they only played 2. Meanwhile, England did, you know, have to play 4 if they would have made it to the finals. But like everyone that had a bye, like besides teams that didn't have a bye and had to go all the way through from the preliminary rounds, have been playing lights out. So, you know, much respect to them. Free kick here awarded to Denmark. Uh-oh. Here goes Anderson. Anderson's got to be careful. Goes Bah to Isikin. Isikin now to Verholt. To Hujlemond. To Mayo. He's got to be careful now. It's Verholt again. Uh-oh. Here's Højbjerg. Oh, it's Schmid. Austria trying to push it up. It's Schmid in the goalkeeper. Schmid! We're tied 2-2 in the 34th minute of this one, folks. Austria-Denmark tied. Both teams refusing to quit. 4 goals scored in 34 minutes. It's insane. All of this to be called the champions of Europe. Both of these teams are giving out one hell of an exciting finals to our first ever UEFA Nations Cup tournament. As for now to Hojlund. Hojlund's already got 2 goals. Trying to go for a third. Can't do it. Goal kick for Austria. Out of all the teams that were here, and I'll name the 27 teams that came into this tournament: England, Italy, Turkey, Sweden, Switzerland, Austria, Finland, Northern Ireland, Portugal, Romania, the Czech Republic, Wales, Norway, Denmark, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Croatia, Poland, Iceland, Scotland, Republic of Ireland, Germany, France, Spain, the Netherlands, Belgium, Hungary, and Ukraine. All these teams came into this tournament, and if you would have told me that the 2 teams that would have made it to the finals was Denmark and Austria, I would have been a disbeliever. But yet here we are. Here we are, folks. Absolutely wild. Just Schmid pushing it up, but can't do anything as the attack gets stuffed. Now not to Højbjerg, now to Damsgaard. Time is taken away in this first half. What an exciting and exhilarating first half it's been. It's Hujlemond. Hujlemond trying to get it to Højlund. Back to Hujlemond. The shot, good save. Corner for Denmark. Well, the header comes in, but not much to... Yeah, that's not going to do much there. And that's going to do it for the first half. My goodness, what a game. What a finals. That's been an exhilarating finals. And, you know, looking at the keys to victory, I mean, both of these teams are firing on all cylinders. I mean, yeah, defensively, there's been some mistakes, but, I mean, both of them made the same ones. It's just go for broke. It's the finals, man. Just take all the risk. And look at the crowd. They are on their feet. Old Trafford being the host for the finals here. I mean, they are just on their feet right now. So when I'm doing these like long-winded streams of insane amounts of talking, hydration breaks are needed. And honestly, I am starving, so I can't wait to cook something to eat. You best believe. David Horsberg. Oh, good save. And once we hit the 60th minute, I'll go ahead and preview the Three Kingdoms Cup. Because Hodgson, the shot, but that was close. That was close. I gotta admit, that was a great idea. Just execution was a little off. I'm not sure how he actually volleyed that to keep it in play, but I'm absolutely impressed. Wow, saving what could have been a goal. Just looking at how Denmark's still on the offensive. Great side swipe there from Sabitzer. So that was not Sabitzer. Wait, what is Schmid doing? Schmid, oh my God, Schmid making a critical error here. That literally, he had two guys, but he should have passed that out. He should have passed that out. That was a boneheaded error. Great defense there, but just to kind of preview the Three Kingdoms Cup, and I guess we can go over the other cups as well, since you know, they are, I want to say, like, important, because, well, it's worth going over them. So for the Three Kingdoms Cup, the quarterfinals are a bit tricky because they have 11 teams, and since Iran made it the furthest in the entire teams of the list, I had Iran. The lowest scoring team will face Iran in that last quarterfinal game, so someone's gonna have to play twice before they can make it to the semifinals. It's only fair. And so it's gonna be Iraq versus Qatar. It'll be Japan versus Jordan, Indonesia versus Uzbekistan, Saudi Arabia versus Korea Republic, and New Zealand versus Australia. 2 games semifinals, then we have our final match. Boom. So episode 1 will be the quarterfinals, semifinals, finals will be episode 2. Going into the AFCON, in case I haven't actually went over that one, it'll be Ghana and Tennessee, Morocco, South Africa, Algeria and Egypt, Cape Verde versus Ivory Coast, the Democratic Republic of the Congo versus Senegal, and then the 2 lowest scoring teams will go off and play again in the quarterfinals. That we have a balanced semifinals. On that note, looking at the Copa America / CONMEBOL, it is going to be Mexico versus Canada, the United States versus Haiti, Curacao versus Colombia, Uruguay versus Paraguay, Ecuador versus Brazil, and Argentina versus Panama. In the semifinals, 2 of the lowest scoring teams will go at it, because there's going to be 3 winners coming out of the 3 semifinals games, and the 2 lowest scoring teams will go off before they face someone in the finals. So, yeah, I think that's a pretty fair rundown of the remaining cups we're going to do. And if there is, you know, some extra time, then maybe we'll do like a single elimination Women's World Cup. Maybe. I haven't really thought that far ahead. Just kind of maximize all we can from the EAFC 26 game. But yeah, that's the plan. For those who were wondering. Alright, I'm like, ugh. Win probability 27 for... That's crazy. They're expecting a draw, but we're not having any draws here, folks. If this game remains a draw at the end of 90 minutes plus added time, we'll be going to penalties. It's been a while since we had a finals of any tournament end in penalties. Last time was 2017 of the Netherlands and France World Cup tournament finals, and what a amazing game that was. And Austria, who's already been to penalties, probably does not want to go back and test their luck with Lady Luck. Here goes Denmark now, trying to, they're in the offensive third. Can they get it to somebody? Damsgaard's in trouble. It's now pushing it up. Is Austria. Time ticking away. Oh, they try to bounce off a defender. Wait, went right to somebody. However, the infraction is going to lead to a free kick. Grosic going to come in for Schläger. That substitution made by Austria. Stage coming in for Hujleman. That substitution, That substitution coming in for Denmark. Takes the shot. Oh, good save. It's like both of these teams fired all their offensive power out in the first half, it seems like. Eriksson coming in for Højbjerg, I believe. Again, goal kick here for Denmark. Time is ticking away if they want to avoid penalties. They've got to score right here and now. Here goes Damsgaard. Damsgaard's pushing it up in the corner. He's got two guys defending him. Takes the corner shot. All right, bounce off the defender. Throw in here for Denmark. Time ticking away. How much added time do we have? There goes his Christian to Stage. Stage to Haaland. Haaland takes a home. Good save. Goodness. And 3 minutes of added time. Corner here again for Denmark. Desperately trying to avoid penalties. Good catch from the goalkeeper. This gives Austria one final chance to mount an offensive attack to avoid penalties for the second time today. Marcel Sabitzer pushing it up. He's going to have a defensive guy with him. It bounces off the defender. Throw in here for Austria. And a critical error, giving it back to Denmark. Can Denmark push up the offensive attack before time runs out? It's Haaland. Haaland left all alone. Haaland, it's him with the goalkeeper. Good shot. Oh, goal! The closing moment goal. Denmark 3-2 over Austria. The champions of Europe have been crowned. Wow. Take a look, folks. I mean, talk about determination. Haaland refused. It slips right between the legs of the goalkeeper, right into the net. And that seals Austria's fate. The man with the hat trick. The man with 5 goals alone today. 2 against freaking Turkey. 3 against Denmark. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, what a finals it was. A last-second goal that sealed the deal for Denmark to over Austria 3-2. The man with the hat-trick, Haaland, the MVP of the tournament, and definitely for Denmark. Ladies and gentlemen, year 2026 UEFA Nations Cup winners, the champions of Europe, Denmark. And folks, with that being said, that's all I have for you in today's stream. Please do hit the like button, hit the comment. Please follow. We're on the road to 1K subs, so I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do appreciate all the love and support. With that being said, everybody, peace out. Enjoy the rest.